everyone, it's Destiny, and today we have super exciting news revolving 4.0 as we finally got shown the very first character coming in version 4.0. And real quick, I'd love to know what character you recently pulled on your account and how have you been enjoying them. And if you would like to see more Honkai Star Rail content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and real quick before we begin today's video, I wanted to show you all a way to get cheaper Oneric shards, and I also wanted to say a huge thanks to Aniba for sponsoring today's video. Aniba is a website where you can purchase Oneric shards at a discount, and all you have to do is provide your Star Rail UID, select the pack that you would like to purchase, and well, bam, within a few minutes, you'll receive the Oneric shards within your account, and now you'll be able to pull for your favorite characters at a discount. You can also use Aniba for other games as well, such as Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, and so on. Aniba also has 10% cash back for your purchases. All you have to do is, after your purchase, go to your orders, claim your cash back, and now you can use your cash back on anything on Aniba's website. And if you would like, you can even get more Oneric shards by doing this. For those interested, you can check out Aniba using my link in the description, and now let's carry on with today's video. As for one of the characters we will be getting in version 4.0, it will be Yao Guang. I believe that's how you say her name. If it isn't, then we'll eventually know the official pronunciation once we get closer to the release of 4.0. But regardless, here is our first character of version 4.0. If the patterns follow the same way, then this will be the first character, and if we get teased another 5-star, then that would end up typically being the second 5-star of the patch. So we should expect this character around February 12th or February 13th if there are no further delays for 4.0. And just right off the bat, I feel like this character design is so freaking cool. It appears to have a lot of peacock-like themes when it comes to the ends of her dress, and then if we look around in the splash art and just the patterns, I feel like it sort of gives me that type of vibe. And then around her splash art, more so to the right half of the splash art, we can kind of see what appears to be her as well, and there are multiple eyeballs just throughout the splash art, which I think is really interesting. I think her design is pretty cool, honestly, and I'm pretty excited to learn more about her. And I'd love to know what you think of her design, if you feel like it's a cool design or if you're not the biggest fan of it. But something really important here is that we are going to have our very first Elation character. Approaching 4.0, a lot of us had some speculations that in 4.0 and beyond, we would have Elation as a new path. In 3.x, we of course got Remembrance, so now going into 4.0, we're going to get a new path, and it is none other than Elation, which I would say is pretty fitting for what we are going to be going into when it comes to 4.0 overall, and just what they've shown us so far when it comes to the screenshots and just teasing the new planet. But we are going to be getting our first Elation character, which I'm really curious what this will mean when it comes to the playstyle, the kit overall, and if the Elation path is going to do something similar to the Remembrance path. What I mean by this is, in the case of Remembrance, they were pretty open with what they could do with a character kit. For example, in the case of Aglaya, she is a DPS. In the case of Castris, another DPS. But then in the case of, for example, Remembrance Trailblazer, they focus more on the supportive side of things, similar to Hyacinth. Hyacinth is a sustained character, but also is able to deal adequate amounts of damage as well. So I wonder if Elation is going to be similar in the case of the path being very free to do whatever I guess it wants. In the case of, we can get an Elation sustain or Elation support or an Elation DPS, or if Elation is more so going to be centered around a specific role. So if Elation ends up being primarily damage dealers, for instance. I'd love to know what you would all think, if you feel like Elation is going to be a pretty open path, or if you think Elation is primarily going to be, let's say, damage dealers, for instance. I'm really curious to see, because if we get another Elation character right after this reveal right here, that would be pretty cool to see. We won't really be able to know too much until we're approaching 4.0, especially with the delays. I do feel like we've been getting just little bits of information here and there. Something I'm also curious about is how accessible Elation like cones will end up being in 4.0, considering the fact that we are getting this new path now. Personally, I'm hoping that they do make a nice free-to-play option or just more accessible option for us to get for this new character. especially considering the fact that they are an Elation character and we currently do not have any Elation light cones available. But I am personally still pretty excited for 4.0 and what it brings. I was very happy to see that they revealed a new character today. But yeah, I'm just personally very excited for what's to come with 4.0, and I'd love to know just how all of you feel about this new character reveal. If you are considering to pull this character here, or if you're not honestly very sure. For me personally, I love the design. I feel like it is a very cool design, so I personally will be pulling. I also can't wait to see what Elation as a path is going to offer when it comes to the play style. So if it's going to be, for example, follow-up centric, or if it's going to be focused on maybe consuming a lot of skill points, or if there will be varieties of what the path will be able to offer with each of the characters. So I'm very excited to just know more, and I feel like that's all I can really say. Is just I'm really excited because we're finally getting something for us to see, and I would say this character is a pretty cool start to 4.0. Cannot wait to see the next character, and I'd love to know if you are going to be saving for 4.0, if you're currently saving for 4.0, or if there's some characters you're going to be pulling here in 3.8. 3.8 offers quite a lot of characters when it comes to the break play style. For example, we just got the Dahlia. The Dahlia is a huge asset for the break play style overall, and nicely assisted with the performance of the play style. So I know a lot were tempted to pull the Dahlia or have pulled the Dahlia for their super break teams. And then when it comes to the later half of 3.8, we're just going to get an Aglaya and Sunday rerun. I have seen some say they are interested in maybe picking up Sunday, but I'd love to know if this new character reveal here is changing your plans, or if you were just already waiting for 4.0 as it is. For me personally, I only pulled the Dahlia this patch, and that is probably going to be the only character I'm pulling this patch, and then I'm just going to full on save for 4.0 here. But yeah, I'd love to know all of your thoughts. I'd love to know if you are excited. I just really want to know more about this path overall and what to maybe expect, but I think we'll definitely have to wait probably more near the live stream for that information. But yeah, that'll be all for today. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the newest character reveal and just my thoughts on it. I think this character looks super cool, and if you did enjoy today's video, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye.